member of the six.
If you have all six,
Yes.
then you divide the 100 and some into six components, right?
Yes. Okay. Right now, the only member, the active member, is CNMI.
Okay,
so CNMI is...
So they're footing the whole bill at this point?
They're footing, to my understanding, yes, they are footing the entire bill. So if we were to come in, YAP is right now showing some interest. So if we were to come in, it would have to...
3 ways.
2 ways, 65 if we were to come in, and then 3 ways if YAP would come in, which would lower it then.
Okay.
And so what we're talking about here is you pay no more than 150% of a resident rate.
Okay.
And I use University of Hawaii as an example. University of Hawaii costs $9,800 for annually for residents. For residents, okay. It costs $28,000 for non-residents.
And on an annual basis, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So if you're a part of the WICHE, this Inter-State Commission, your tuition, if you qualified, like I said, you're going to have to do diligence. You're going to have to hopefully you're the one chosen. Your tuition would be about $14,000. So you're right there in the middle.
Okay. So you're not quite resident, but
you're not a resident.
Really, you're not quite out of resident.
You're not out. You're not a. You're not a
non-resident.
Non-resident, but you're a government subsidized. It's called WUE, W-U-E, which is part of the WICHE. Okay. And so my whole intention and my mission was to facilitate this program so that our kids, when they graduate from high school, have an opportunity. Now, I don't believe that this is the silver bullet, and by no means am I the higher education expert here, but I don't think it takes someone with that kind of qualifications to say this is an opportunity for our kids to go off island or stay here. It's up to them. It's their choice. But this is the opportunity for them to excel and get educated. And the most important thing about that education when you go to college is the parents ask how much does it cost. Sure,
and that's the reality, Senator. As a matter of fact, last week I had a group of seniors from Simon Sanchez High School, and basically they came out to tell the leaders, don't forget us. You know, I mean, our school was in shambles pretty much, right? Don't forget us. These were students from Miss Andres's English 12 class. Okay, English 12 class. They're seniors, definitely. And so I just polled them as to what would each and every one of you be doing after graduation. Every one of them already knew what they were going to do after graduation. 3/4 of them were going to go to the University of Guam, okay? There was a couple of them that were going to go off island to go to college, and also 2 of them had already pre-enlisted in the military. I think the Marines, one won the Army at this point. So, you know, once they graduate, they'll do that. That's the reality. That's the reality. Kids already at this point, I mean, now, you know, in their junior year, sophomore year, they're already looking at what colleges they attend. And families already have been saving, again, in anticipation of what their kids want to do. That's the reality.
That's a very positive reality. What a high school graduate chooses to become when he or she graduates, whether it's a workforce, whether it's a college graduate, whether it's going into entrepreneurship and starting your own business. The end result is a productive member of society and somebody who contributes back to their community. And I think it's very important for us. If you watch the news tonight, you see how crime is on the rise, and it's and what the middle ground between crime and poverty and sustainability, it's education.
Education, absolutely.
And so this, you know, when I look at this, it's a wonderful opportunity, and it's something that I believe that the students and their parents can take advantage of, and if it's going to save them $8,000, $10,000, $15,000 a year or in 1 year, I say that we support it and we embrace it. And we move forward with it.
And it's a win-win. When I looked at this, you know, when I looked at possibly where you might get objections, I'm looking at this scenario here. If parents can save, if the reality is that their kids want to go off to college, and they you know, of course, it's money to apply to get into college. It's tons of money just for the application, not guaranteed acceptance. Okay, not refundable at that. Now, the reality is, if the students go abroad to school, a lot of them at this point, they say, well, rather than a 4-year college, they're going to take a 2-year junior college to try to establish residency, and maybe not taking a full load, because even at a junior college, you still pay non-resident fee for that period of time. A lot of them as well, they said, well, we're going to go off island, we're going to establish residency, work for a year, wait to establish residency, and then I'll be able to go to school and have that residency requirement met, and I'm able to apply now as a resident and pay resident fee. So when you're looking at that, you're saying, you know, kids can probably graduate a year sooner, you know, and likewise, if they were going to go to school and work at the same time, they can probably forgo the work and take more courses now because it's more affordable.
Exactly.
And my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong of this thing, is that this doesn't prevent the student that goes off island and accepted this program, that is under this program and paying a little more than resident fee, but not quite the non-resident fee.
Is the max.
Okay, okay. That it doesn't prevent that student from continuing on to establish residency for that, however residency is required for that particular state, that the following year they can be a resident now.
I see where you're going, and that's one of the diligent parts that your parents and students alike are going to have to figure out, because each state and each institution has different types of rules and regulations. Requirements. We have 150 higher institution facilities who offer this program. So you got 150 facilities with almost over 400 possible programs. Now, you're not looking at just undergraduate. You got graduate, and then they also have online. We also discovered that part of this program, it's a separate program, but once you're in WICHE, you qualify for different types of programs. And now there were 10 specialized graduate courses that we can then buy into. We can buy slots for medical, pharmaceutical, and so there's a number of these graduate courses that we can say, well, I would like to reserve maybe 3 or 4 slots. Now the maximum cost for that is $30,000 a year, and the minimum cost, I think, is about $12,000 a year. But still, not a huge price to pay if you want to send someone to medical school, and the government of Guam has a slot for them. You want to send someone to pharmaceutical school, we have a slot for you, so forth and so on. So once again, it's an opportunity, and I'm the type of person, when I see opportunity, I grab it and I kick the door down, and I try and see what or how we can get the most out of this opportunity.
Yeah,
and,
no,
and this is what it is.
No, I think it's a great thing. And when you look in the Western schools, I mean, Alaska is represented very well. You have California, Arizona colleges, community colleges, as well as state colleges that are pretty heavy. California is well represented. Colorado heavily represented. Hawaii, almost all the institutions there. Idaho, Montana, Nevada, UNLV is it?
UNLV is a very Division I
D1
and a good sports program.
New Mexico as well, D1 school as well, University New Mexico. I'm saying, oh man, if I knew about this, I could have my daughter apply. she graduated from there and going to graduate school there. North Dakota is pretty heavily represented. Oregon, South Dakota, Utah, Washington State, Wyoming. So great representation. And when I'm looking at through all these schools, and I'm going, there's a great number, and I know a lot of friends of mine, most especially in Colorado, that graduated in in a lot of these some of these universities here, and it's a great thing. When did we potentially? I mean, when did this come about? I mean, I know you discovered this recently, but when was this opportunity available to go on? Because the CNMI knew about this. They've been members. They've been the sole member at this point, and they've taken advantage of this with their students. Why did we not know about this?
It's something that came up, I believe, last year sometime before the term started. And we know about it now. That's all that matters. We know about it now. And I'm not going to go out and blame anyone for not knowing about it, but I think the thing is, what are we going to do about it now? Because now is when we know. It's almost like to say, well, this is a great thing to start 20 years ago. The second best time would be now.
No, and the reason why I'm saying that is because, dang, you could have saved me a lot of money. But anyway, I got to pay some bills right now, and then we'll come back. We'll talk more about the membership to the Western, undergraduate.
Interstate commissions for higher education.
And we'll talk